We make videos to teach you how to use your God power in effective ways, to accomplish anything and everything that you have ever wanted to experience in your life. We want to help you realize there is nothing that is outside your ability, when you are using your God power. However, it does take discipline, and practice to use it well. But, mastery over your God power, will directly equate to mastery over your own reality and your life. All great philosophies and religions say that we were made in God's image. What does that mean? What is an image anyway? Of course most of us think of an image as a picture or how something looks. Obviously this image is not how we look, because we all look different. But, then image does mean likeness. It must be that we were made in the likeness of God. But that raises a whole new bunch of questions. How are we like God? Is it because we think? Is it having thoughts? No, that can't be right either, because animals think and have thoughts too. So, what makes us like God but different than animals? Is it because we make decisions? No, that's not it either. Animals decide if something is good to eat or whether they are in danger or not. So, what is the answer then? It has to be like God on the one hand, but at the same time different than animals, but, it's not thinking, thoughts, or deciding. We must have a special ability or power, like God, that animals don't have. It must be a God power. What is this special God power? What is it and how does it work? This God power that all humans have, must be something very special if God has it too. It must be a very powerful and it must be a special gift for us, if we have it and animals don't. But what is this mysterious God power that we all have and how can we start using it? Your God power is very simple and easy to use, and yet, it is the most powerful ability known to man. Your God power is the ability to change reality, by assigning meaning. There is nothing else that even comes close to this God power. This is the one power that God has, and with it he created the universe and everything in it. The entire universe and everything in it, including us, are made up of, and created from, pure energy. The only power and ability that is necessary to create the universe from energy is the ability to define and assign meaning to the energy and it becomes our creation. It is very important to understand the mechanics of meaning. Meaning is present at every single layer and every single viewpoint of every situation. Everything is built and created from meaning. Just to show you how pervasive meaning is in our experience, I will build a simple doghouse built out of meaning. First, the location has meaning. It is in a certain spot, that is within a certain area that has the meaning of being owned by a certain person. It is built of wood that has a meaning that was created by the kind of tree that it came from. Its meaning dictates certain properties. You put wood on top, which has the meaning that when a certain substance called water which has a meaning and certain properties. The meaning of a roof keeps the meaning of the water from entering the space which has a meaning of what is enclosed by the wood. Furthermore, the meaning of wood prevents the meaning of light from passing through it, where the meaning of glass does allow the meaning of light to pass, but not the meaning of water. You can quickly see that the universe has the most powerful computational abilities you could ever imagine to keep track of all the assigned meanings and still make sure they are all interacting properly. All meaning is calculated and reconciled at the energy level and then only represented at the physical level. While the energy level can be best described as in another dimension, we can visualize it better if we think of it as a cloud above every person, object and situation. This would be like a higher level of activity or consciousness. Everything in the universe is energy. All energy vibrates. The way that meaning shapes energy is by causing a certain frequency that forms the energy into matter or circumstance. It forms it in the same way that a certain frequency will form a musical note, or form the color red. In music, we listen to a certain range of frequencies that we can hear. In that range, a certain frequency will form a certain sound that we can actually hear. A combination of frequencies together, will form a song. In the light spectrum 11, there are a certain range of light frequencies that we can see. If the light is in a certain frequency, we see red light. If it is a combination of different light frequencies, we see a picture. If we have a certain combination of light frequencies in combination with sound frequencies, we can watch a movie of an event or the actual event as it is happening. It is all a matter of different frequencies in combination. It's important to understand how frequencies added together create a new single frequency that is made up by a combination of other frequencies. I have always found that the simpler a concept or design is, the more intelligent it is. Using frequencies to shape energy is the genius of creation. It is so simple and yet so powerful. However, you just don't realize how amazingly intelligent and powerful it is until you give it some serious thought. Imagine a musical band. In this band there is a singer, a drum player, a piano, a lead guitar and a bass guitar and a trumpet. Each of these instruments, including the singer, puts out its own set of frequencies that are changing, but within the range of that instrument. A drum puts out a different range of sound than the guitar or the trumpet, and definitely different than the singer. But when they create a song, it has its own frequency as a whole, even though it is made up of many different frequencies put together. That is the essence of matter. It is composed of molecules, which are composed of atoms, which are composed of electrons, neutrons, and protons. These are composed of yet smaller parts, all of which have their own frequency at their level of existence. Just as the guitar has its own frequency, it is part of a song, which is part of a movie, which is part of the theater experience, which is part of a person's individual experience, and it just keeps going and going. However, even if you are in the movie theater, watching the movie, with all the dialogue and action, you can still listen for and hear the sound frequency of the guitar playing in the song playing in the background of the scene. Even though the frequencies are more complex, they still contain and are able to represent all of their basic elements. Nothing is ever lost in the whole. When you listen to a song, as a single frequency, you can still experience and recognize any of the individual instruments that make it up. That is a basic understanding of frequencies and how they are gathered to form greater and yet greater situations and objects. The universe is made up of first, energy, formed into smaller particles than we will ever know at a certain frequency, then after many untold levels, finally form electrons, neutrons and protons, which is where we begin to understand the universe, which then form atoms, all of which have their own frequencies at their own level. Eventually they form molecules, and matter, and planets, and solar systems and universes. While they each have their own frequency and song, they are also adding unto the greater and bigger picture until it becomes the universe. And, just like the different sound elements of a song come together to form one song, all the elements and frequencies of the universe come together to form the universe, one verse. Frequencies are second only to energy as the basic building blocks of the universe. Meanings create frequencies which causes energy to vibrate at certain rates. Frequencies range from the highest vibrations which are unseen and immeasurable, to the lowest ones which can be seen as light, heard as sound, and felt as movement. Frequencies are added together to form more and more complex frequencies. Frequencies have the power and ability to form energy into matter and circumstance. Frequencies are the genius of creation because they convey so much information. The entire universe is a single very complex frequency known as the one verse. Resonance is the secret matchmaking force of the universe. So, now that we know the universe is made up of combinations of frequencies forming energy into matter, situations, and events, we also know that it is meaning that creates these frequencies. So, what is resonance and what does it have to do with your God power? What does resonate mean and how is it the matchmaker of the universe? Frequencies have an amazing quality, it's called resonance. Resonance happens when similar frequencies are in proximity to each other. If you had two equally tuned guitars in the same room, and you plucked the third string on one of them, did you know that the third string on the other guitar would automatically start to vibrate? That is called resonance. Resonance elicits an automatic response from like frequencies. If there was a piano in the same room and it had a string that was the same frequency to the one that you were plucking on the guitar, it would also respond automatically by vibrating on that string of similar frequency. If you played a music CD on your stereo system, that was of a person plucking the third string on a guitar, the third string of a guitar in the same room would still vibrate. It is not responding to the first guitar, but instead to the frequency that it is generating. It would respond every time whether the frequency vibration is coming directly from the guitar, a stereo system or something else. This quality of resonance is so amazing and powerful, and yet it is so easy to use. It will add greatly to your knowing of how the universe really works. Did you notice that I said it elicited the response and the response came automatically? The other guitar did not decide to respond, it automatically responded. Also, the other guitar did not respond on its own, the response was elicited. Called forth, beckoned, commanded, requested. The other guitar not only responded, but it had to respond, it couldn't decide not to. It responded exactly when it should have and with exactly the appropriate tune, vibration, and frequency. The other guitar did not respond with a different offering or a different frequency, or on a different string. It responded with exactly the perfect match to the frequency it heard. Furthermore, there was no effort on the other guitar's part to respond. In fact, no one plucked the string on the other guitar, it responded by itself, plucking itself so to speak, effortlessly, automatically, and appropriately as it will and does every single time. The same thing would happen if you plucked the first string on the first guitar. It would cause the first string on the other guitar to vibrate an automatic response. The same resonating effect would happen if you plucked the last string, it would automatically elicit the identical response from the other guitar. That is the quality of resonance. This is the fundamental basis of the universe. Also, when the other guitar begins to respond, it makes a sound and a vibration. Because of this, it catches your attention and stands out from everything else in the room. Interestingly, not only does it catch your attention, but you catch its attention also. After all, you are causing it to vibrate and respond to you, what more do you need to get its attention? In a situation of resonance, each not only becomes aware of the other, but due to likeness they each are attracted to each other. Thus, the law of attraction. The property of resonance not only works with guitar strings, but it will work with tuning forks, drums, and anything that makes a sound. If you struck the bottom of a kitchen pot or pan, the sound it made would be the exact frequency required to resonate with it. First, resonance occurs only in the presence of like frequencies, and will not respond when the frequencies are not a match. Second, the response is automatic, and requires no additional energy, nor does it need any physical action on your part. It is a natural function of nature. Resonance is so automatic, that it would respond in a glass box where no one could touch it as long as the sound vibration could reach it. The resonant effect will continue as long as the primary vibration is activating it. It is very important to understand that resonance causes a mutual awareness and activation of the like frequencies. It would be like a guy at a party looking to meet other people like himself. So he shouts above the noise of the crowd, "I like fishing." Suddenly, there are several other people in the crowd who shout back, "Me too." They end up coming over and they start talking about fishing. When he shouted that he liked fishing, he was transmitting a certain frequency out into the world around him. As he did this, those who had a similar likeness, liked fishing, responded in the same way with the same frequency. He elicited their response by sending out something about himself. They didn't respond by saying that they were hungry or that they wanted to dance. If he had shouted, "I like ballroom dancing," he would have had a very different result. If there were anyone in the room who also liked ballroom dancing, they would have responded, but the ones who liked fishing would have remained quiet and unmoved. They would not have resonated with that particular frequency. When you start the first one vibrating at a certain frequency, the vibrations reach the second tuning fork of the same frequency, and then resonance causes it to start vibrating also. The frequency vibrations from the second one now come back to the first one and begin a resonant action between the two of them. Now that you have actually seen resonance in action with your own eyes and ears, let's get back to our guitar example. What would happen if you plucked the third string on the one guitar and the other guitar didn't even have a third string? Nothing happens, and nothing can happen. If the other guitar doesn't have a string that vibrates at the same frequency, it does not hear the first guitar, it is totally unaware of it, and as a result it does not respond in any way. You could pluck the third string on the first guitar until your fingers bled, and still, there would be no response coming forth from the other guitar. Resonance only responds in kind. It has to be a like frequency to elicit any response. This is very important to understand. Resonance is not only a pervasive force that is everywhere and always in action, but it's a very powerful force as well. When you cause a frequency that matches with anything, it will activate it and command it to respond in any way that it can, even if that is by twisting and jumping until it breaks apart. It will respond every single time it gets the call in the form of a vibration that resonates with it. Resonance is a powerful force when you know how to activate it. It will respond every single time and work day and night for you. It will always get a response and it will always work. The difference between using your God power and using positive thinking is your level of consciousness. Your God power is a higher consciousness function. That is to say, that you have awareness, that when you assert meaning, you actually create a resonant force that causes the universe to respond. The universe is eliciting what you want and making it stand out, and become available to you. You know what you are doing and have a high expectation due to simple cause and effect. Positive thinking has good intentions, and usually makes you feel better. You don't have the conscious awareness that you are deliberately forcing the universe to create favorable options for you. If you don't take the initiative to use your God power to assert a new meaning in an otherwise bad situation, you would be eliciting all things bad. You could only notice how bad things are and how they are getting worse. I've got news for you. Not only do things look bad from that perspective, but they are bad and getting worse for real. So, if nothing is working out for you and every path that you take leads to a dead end, then you have to do something about it. You can't let that continue, or it will get worse. It has to. It is the power of resonance to elicit and bring you more. You have to say and think a different meaning instead, such as, this is just making me stronger. Every no is one step closer to the yes I'm looking for. This could be the day that an amazing opportunity comes my way. Every day is full of possibilities that could lead to the life of my dreams. When you change the meaning of your situation, you change your vibration, and as a result, the doors that were invisible before, suddenly are not only noticeable, but they are wide open. You are being invited to a new world of opportunity and success. If the starting meaning of your situation is desperate, then you would think of a new point of view and assert a new meaning. Such as, this is the beginning of great things. If this is now the beginning of great things, then you now expect to elicit from the universe these great things. After all, if this is now the beginning of great things, there must now be great things to be found. That is the deliberate and conscious use of your God power. You assert the new meaning, and then look for and notice the results that you have elicited and will be eliciting from the universe. Just remember, if you are looking for red cars, you will see them everywhere. And if I ask you how many white cars did you see, you will be unable to answer, because you were not noticing them. They did not catch your attention because they were not on your mind or in your vibration. When you think that nothing is working out for you, all you can see is that which verifies it, and nothing is working out. Even if there is an amazing opportunity right in front of you, you will not notice it, and therefore not see it. You will not be able to choose it. It will be in the dark and invisible to you. Use your God power to elicit the things you desire to happen in your life.